like, how do you view success in our situation?
Success to me, always first and foremost, is putting God first in everything that we do. Whether, in our marriage and, parenting and, and in business.
Was it also a different adjustment from going to a corporate atmosphere to like real small business and like every dollar spent we see it type of thing?
Yeah. That was a huge, because I never worked for a small business before. And so literally working at corporate, it's like, I don't see like all the, I did see expenses and it would trickle down from corporate office, but here it's like extremely personal.
Right.
So yeah, that was a bit of adjustment. I think also an adjustment too was like how we argue, well, not argue, but we kind of go back and forth with like the air conditioning at home, and we're arguing about it here at the store. And it's like we can't get away from it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's interesting. What was important to me during that time, or what I tried to do was like, and I think it's almost like a cultural thing that I'm trying to have even at perfecttux in general, where and it is weird. I will say it is weird, like having to like tell you something. Like I try to give like enough latitude to like, cause like there's certain things I don't really care about of like, okay, if you want to do a floor change or whatever the case may be, but it's like, oh, we need a new fixture. And I gotta be like, do we need that? Like, I just looked at my P&L and I don't know, it just ain't adding up. And you're just like, it looked nice, it's good, and it's just like, I don't always like to have to be like, no, we're not. And then like to come home and be like, I don't have that dynamic, or I guess I could have that dynamic, but I'm like more, I don't want to say respectful at home, but more like, I guess we're more 50-50, but it's like, I understand the dynamic that I do have the final say so in business, but I try to give you the latitude to do it. It's like, that was hard for me too. Like, it's because I wasn't trying to like, hurt your feelings or anything. Or like, I could tell like another team member, hey, do this, period. But I could tell you, hey, do this, period. You'd be like, why? I'm like, what you mean, why? So that was interesting. But I feel like, and this advice I would give anybody in that particular situation, I just think like communication is always key. Like every aspect of a relationship, of a marriage, of anything, it's just communicating like the best you can.
And also to having hard conversations. I think that's important, because if you don't have those hard conversations, then you can't grow and build, Yeah. So yeah, definitely communications is,
okay. And well, I guess speaking of communication, like how was it? Cause I feel like we do a good job of like going home and not really bringing too much business home. I might just like talk and, how I just be talking when I be at the computer, just be talking. But like, it's hard for me to cut off business when I'm home, because like I'm always thinking about it. But like, how do you think we handle that balance of business and family? And like, do you think we found the right balance with it, or do you think, or did it start off with a good balance and now we're at a good balance, or or we don't?
I think we have a pretty good balance. I don't think we have any issues with bringing work, home, because sometimes you're in the store and I'm not in the store, but I'm worried. I'm like, oh, did you call my customer, or did, whatever. So I think, I don't think we have any significant issues surrounding that.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think about is how you get upset with me.
What, I bring it home?
No, but like when you say like I care so much about the customers.
Oh.
And is that
or you're a customer. What's that? What I usually say.
Yeah, you think I care too much about my customers. So sometimes that kind of causes things, and then that kind of spills over at home. And we'll be talking about it, and
just keep it 100. I mean, too. Like I said, it ain't all peaches and cream. But again, I think communication, and we're able to talk about it. I think that's the biggest thing, and we're purposeful in what we do. I think that's definitely key. So let me ask you, in times where now that you're like, you're on with the business and you're around me so much time, like, do you know? Okay, well, what do you feel when the business struggles? Are you aware of it? Do I stress out? You feel it, or do you even know when it's like things are bad, things are good? And then, if you do feel when things are bad, like, how do you stay positive and stay like, during them times, or do you really feel it?
Well, I do know when we have our business meetings, and you'll go over the numbers with the team. And so, so I have an idea, but also I can see too, like outside of, the four walls of the store, I can see you and I can see that it weighs heavy on you, because, your facial expressions and you just, your moans like, oh my God, like, so I can definitely tell that it weighs heavy on you. But, I feel like I act the same. I'm just out here trusting God, okay?
Once we find ourselves in that cardboard box, you be like, how we get here? What y'all talking about? What is going on? But that's cool. I mean, but that's another thing where I'm glad. I feel like we have a good yin yang. Because on the flip side of that, what if you was a big numbers person and we both in there looking at PML like, no, I think we should go over here. Like, I'm glad I don't have that type of like, granted, I would take anybody's constructive criticism, but I'm glad you care about the stuff you care about and I care about the stuff I care about, like in business or even relationship wise. I mean, I just feel like it's a good synergy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of that synergy and communication, I mean, like as far as the communication piece, what advice would you give couples or married couples that do work together, like how to communicate, like how to, if they find themselves in this type of position as far as working together or just doing entrepreneur?
I would say to not hold things in. Don't let things fester. Say how you're feeling. Or if it's too heated, I don't know if it's too heated, I guess maybe take a moment, relax, and then just have a sit down conversation, and just really just speak what's, on your mind.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like, I guess it's cliche to be like communication, but it's like, I feel like it always comes down to that somehow.
But I think too, it's how you, communicate stuff too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know how to. I feel like I think. You maybe you can speak a little bit more on it.
Like what advice would I give, or just about communication?
Or no, but how we communicate with one another. Because I feel like you have to say things to me in a way that I'm going to receive it, and
right,
and vice versa.
One thing I'll say about at least how I feel about me personally is that I'm able to, and it does help me in being like a boss and CEO and all this type of stuff and employ other people. But I feel like I'm able to realize like everybody's you talk to differently. Like it's almost like being a coach. Like, at least I had a coach when I was young that cussed me out. I didn't quite receive that very well, but like some players, they take a cussing and they score 50 points. So it's just kind of knowing like who you're talking to and how they receive stuff. So when I do talk to you, I just know your personality, and it's like I know what will get it across there. I kind of know when to shut up and let you go, or I can catch the vibes. I'm like, oh, I'm doing a little too much now, So I don't know. I feel like from my perspective, I'm just aware of what you receive better. But it's not necessarily a thing of like, oh, this is how you couples follow me. Like, it's not, it's more so just like kind of individual to still you're a person, your personality, like, so I don't know if that's answering the question, but that's how I kind of look at it. So it's kind of weird. But I guess along them lines, so when we do have communication breakdowns or things like that, and let's say stuff doesn't go right at home, do you have that ability to just, we walk through the door and we're like, oh, now we're business partners, and we walk through the door, or it's like, nah, bro, I'm still talking about this toast, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I'll be still irritated, but I still have to communicate with you because I might still need help with something, or I need you to make a decision on something, or I need you to give me the go ahead to whatever. So I feel like I can turn it off, but things still bother me until we, talk about it.
Yeah.
At home.
Well, I mean, like I said, the things y'all need to take is communication is key. Okay. Like but I can't stress that enough. I mean, that's really, at least for me, that's what it comes down to. It's an interesting question I had here, but like, so I know how the goals and the things I see for myself, for us as a unit, for our family, for my kids, I like have this thing, but like, how do you define success for us in a sense of like, I've yanked us on this entrepreneur journey. Like, do you like, does it differ how, like, if it was just, regular 9 to 5, it was both kind of getting it, maybe on some career goals or whatever the case may be? Or is it like, is it, I know you mentioned about being able to have that freedom of being like a home wife and doing things at the home and doing things with our kids and have that freedom and flexibility to do that. But it's like, is that success to you? Or do you like look at it like, okay, no, we need to crack 7 figures this year? Or like, how do you view success in our situation?
Success to me, always first and foremost, is putting God first in everything that we do. Whether, in our marriage and, parenting and, and in business. So I feel like from that, success would just follow. But I think also too is, I think that 7 figures would be nice.
I'm working towards it.
Oh yeah, 7 figures would be nice. But you know what? Honestly, I feel right now, we're pretty successful. Like outside of like just, perfecttux, I feel like I truly, I have nothing to complain about. I feel like we are living what we wanted.
Yeah.
So I think for me not to have to work for someone else and take away my time from my home, from home. I think that's amazing. I get to have dinner with you guys every single day, well, almost every single day. Sometimes
well, thanks too, because your life was a whole lot different being a store manager. Like, you was like closing the store, like what? Y'all would close like 9 o'clock, 9:30. You would get off. You would get home at like 10:30, 11. Mm-hmm. Like, let alone, I don't know how we would have been worried about picking up the kids from school. They get off at 3. Like, it was a big dynamic shift going on.
Yeah. So I feel like this is probably so boring, but I'm truly content right now with my portion, for sure.
Well, shoot, I done worked hard for it.
Yeah.
No, we have worked hard for it. Well, let me ask you. You touched on it a little bit, but how has your faith played a role in, I guess, our relationship? But also, I mean, I'm trying to tie this all into entrepreneurship and stuff. But like, like if just be risk and, gun-ho-ness, or just, communication, or whatever, however you want to take that. How has your faith played a role in just any way you want to take it with our relationship and entrepreneurship or anything?
I just feel like no matter what situation, I feel like God's got me, and so, if, he made you, my husband, and I felt like he put this desire in you, and I want to support that, you know. So I just feel like no matter what situations, I feel like God is, you know, with us. And honestly, like, we've done some amazing things throughout our years together. Even when we struggled, you know, we had some really, you had some really good times to grow us and, you know, developed us and, you know, to persevere. And so, yeah, I think just depending, you know, on God. I mean, that's all I could say, you know?
Yeah, I feel that. Kind of getting towards the end here, but I guess, you know, I know we kind of, I asked some advice you would give in the, you know, we kind of talked about communication, but, you know, what advice would you give someone that, like, you know, what if you know, they didn't feel that they could support their spouse, like, rather they don't have the same risk tolerance level as their spouse. Maybe, you know, I'm terrified. I can't support what you're doing. What do you think you would say to them? Like, when somebody say, "Hey, Natasha, how did you do it? I mean, everything worked out great. You just knew it was going to be great." I mean, what thinking back to that process of, like, how did you get yourself over that? I know some of it was just like, you know, you trust my track record and stuff, but, like, if you had to give some advice to somebody that, you know, that was the opposite of you, that didn't feel comfortable with it,
then I wouldn't feel comfortable with it. I mean, I don't know. Like, if their spouse didn't have a good track record, is that what you're saying?
or maybe it hasn't been established yet. Like, let's just say, you know, I feel like I want to do this.
Well, I feel like people can't hinder other people's dreams. You know, I mean, it kind of depends on, I guess it depends on what it is, you know? But, you know, you're going to have to.
That's a tough conversation, huh?
Yeah.
So I tell y'all, y'all better get y'all a real one. Cause I said in the episode before, I was like, I don't know what to tell you. If you ain't got nobody supporting you, like, I really don't. Yeah, I mean, but the fact of the matter, it is hard. You know, running a business is hard, and doing all this stuff, and it's not like, let's not sugarcoat. I don't sugarcoat over here. It's like it ain't gonna be easy on your family. It ain't gonna be easy on your opposite other. Like, it's not. It's hard. You might get, and then the fact of the matter is, it's so hard that the fear that I have, if I'm fearful and I'm a big risk taker, I can only imagine how you would feel. You know what I'm saying? If, you know, like, so I'm not expecting you to have the same thought process as me. So I think it would be understandable for your spouse or your opposite or whoever you're rocking with to have that fear, you know what I'm saying? But maybe it's on you as an entrepreneur to also be entrepreneurial and pitch your case and be able to get some buy-in.
And have a plan and just kind of secure, you know, your spouse's feelings, and try to make them feel, okay, like, this is what I want to do. Give me maybe this much time. Let me see how I can make this rock. And, you know, I don't know. I think that's a very personal question. I think that's like a question for the individuals, because I think there's so many variables that kind of go along with that.
They might be pissed about the toothpaste and stuff and taking it out on.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Might be some more stuff. But well, let me ask you this. I guess my final question. Let me would you consider yourself at this point an entrepreneur as well? And then 2, if so, or where do you see yourself? Like, do you have now entrepreneur aspirations that you didn't think you would have before? Like, does being married to me, like, make you see the possibilities of goals and things you want to do? Like, where are you at in your entrepreneur journey, if you even consider yourself an entrepreneur at this point?
Well, I'm gonna say yes, because we're one. Okay. So I am an entrepreneur in that aspect, and I do help along with the business. So I do consider myself one, but I would say being married to you has also made me want to do things, venture out on things, and I've come to you with different things that I aspire to do. So I feel like you kind of rubbed off, obviously, on me. So yeah, I mean.
Well, right on, right on. I think we go end it there. Again, I thank you so much for joining me on the 9% show.
You don't have any more questions?
I mean, we can have a part 2 and a part 3, part 4. I mean, you're around. You're not going nowhere. So
okay. But
then we gotta get the kids to bed too.
Yeah.
It's kind of late. It's 9:20 for those that don't know. Actually, come here, Maya. I see you creeping up in here.
Get that braid out of her face.
This is Maya. She's always like, I want to be on the 9% show. What I'm gonna be on there? Here, you got to talk here. So see the mic. Say hi.
Hi.
Yes. Okay. What do you think about perfecttux?
I think it's nice.
Oh yeah. Do you want to own a business when you grow up?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. And we have Christian over here too. Come on, Christian. Might as well make it a whole family affair for this 1-year episode. And he is doing something with a bottle. I have no clue. But say hi to the people. A wave.
Hello.
This is Christian. So what do you think about perfecttux? What do you think about coming to the store every day when you got to come to the store? Do you like it or do you don't like it?
Well, it depends.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends.
Depends on what?
If you've been doing something, then no. But if
Okay. Well, what do you think about business? Do you want to start your own business when you grow up, or do you don't know yet?
I do want to have a job.
You want to have a job? Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I'll hire you. Who knows? You gotta show up on time though, and not be crushing water bottles. Anyways, well, that is our episode. Okay, please like, subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the support over this year. As my daughter walks over the camera, but thank you guys so much. Thank you, Natasha, for being on this episode. Till next time, I will catch you on the 9% show. Peace.